Welcome to our daily cult meeting.
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier, and welcome back to Totally Oblivious Podcast.
What? Markiplier?
Hold on. Now we're synced. Welcome to Totally Oblivious Podcast. I am the host. I'm Caleb, the detective Perez, here with co-host Alex.
I have a question.
What's your question?
When you say, so say the intro again.
Which part?
This is the whole thing. Just do it real quick.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Totally Oblivious. I'm your host, Caleb. Do you want me to say the...
No, I was just weird.
insert?
Sometimes when you say the podcast name, it's like weird. Like you go, oh fuck, it's like forgetting me now. My critique is leaving me.
Totally Oblivious?
No, you go like the Totally Oblivious or Totally Oblivious or whatever fucking other suffix. I don't know. Weird thing I've noticed sometimes.
Oh, is it not the Totally Oblivious Podcast?
It's not what you would think, but shockingly, actually, the Totally Oblivious entity is something completely different. It's its own thing. It manifests itself.
Totally Oblivious is in itself its own property.
Yeah.
And this is just a subsidy of that property.
Yes.
Which therefore makes it the Totally Oblivious Podcast.
Yes.
So my statement is correct and you're a fool.
No, sometimes you say words and my brain just goes.
Yeah, sometimes I think you just don't actually hear what I'm trying to say.
You know what? Yeah, a little bit.
There's two things that I've noticed, specifically with you and Colby on the podcast, because you guys are like the mainstays of the podcast. Is
yes.
Sometimes you don't actually comprehend the words that come out of people's mouths, and Colby just sometimes makes up things. There's been so many times that he just says a thing that he thought one of us said, and nobody even mentioned that.
At least I mishear.
It's true. Colby's actually...
And then I'll ask you again, can you say that for me?
Colby's actually hearing voices.
He's fucking
like,
cracked out
in
now.
specifically, as an example, the episode where we're doing the impressions, when he says
Oh, he's
that...
just making shit up.
Yeah. When he said that, it was something along the lines of that you wanted to talk about movies or something.
Uh-huh.
Or that, no, he said that he thought it was a good idea what you said to ask each other questions. And I kid you not, I rewatched that like 10-minute clip like 5 times, could not once hear you even utter the words, let's ask each other questions. I was like, where did he get that from?
You made it the fuck.
He literally made that up in his mind.
Colby, where did you get that from?
And then treated me like I was crazy for not knowing what he was talking about.
Colby, where did you get this information? I saw it in a dream.
I saw it in a dream. I foresaw.
He's fucking crazy. Anyway,
He really
other
is.
than my mishearing sometimes,
We're here.
we're here.
And welcome to officially in our canonical time, November.
It is.
I've decided I have to talk about this. I've made up my own themes for November and December. So for November, I decided it's Noir November. I'm going to dress like I'm a gruff 1960s, 50s noir detective. Just
Noirs wear turtlenecks?
Hey man, however it goes.
Okay.
What if it's dark and looks fancy and looks like
Okay, that explains the hat. I was very confused
if you
about
can
the hat.
slink around in the shadows, I consider that noir.
You just gotta look like Bruce Wayne. Not
I gotta look like Bruce Wayne. You're right. And I've come up with, I think, an even better plan for December. So there's Noir November, and then starting, I'm thinking December 1st, but maybe right after Thanksgiving. That is the start of Homeless for the Holidays. I'm gonna dress like I'm just homeless.
So does that mean we're gonna see
decrepit.
Caleb naked on camera? In white undies?
No,
Not that homeless.
I said homeless, not crackhead. Not crack addict.
Where's the line drawn? In terms of look.
I think homeless has a very like layered look where they're kind of, and they just dress warm because they're just out in the elements all the time, so it's better to wear a bunch of layers, have kind of a rough edge to your look, as I'm not shaving until the new year.
Jesus Christ.
So homeless for the holidays.
This is the most hair I've ever seen on your fucking face.
Yeah, even on the top of my head too. It's so long.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier.
Well, I guess maybe I'll keep up this. I'll try to do the theme then. Next time I'm here on the podcast.
Noir November.
I'll try to.
You know, next week's already our Thanksgiving episode.
Really?
That's insane to think about. We're already on the precipice of Thanksgiving.
Are we an episode ahead?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. I was like, are we?
Maybe. Yes.
I've just been thinking about that. Okay. Well, I have to skip forward a little bit, but Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's. We watched the movie.
I watched it about a few hours ago. So
really? So you're fresh.
I'm fresh and I'm full nerd right now.
So you're fresh off the movie. I watched the movie twice. I watched it first with my sister's kids on the Friday it came out, and then I watched it with Colby's son on Saturday. It was Saturday I watched it. And I don't know, do you want to give your opinion first, or should I give my opinion first?
About the whole movie?
I think I'll just say this since I'm in the middle of talking. I would give it overall either a 5 or 6 out of 10. I think it was enjoyable. Was not scary at all.
Yeah.
But I think it had enough for... It did what it wanted to accomplish. Where it had enough for fans, had enough for people who had no idea what the franchise was about. I thought the acting was good. The actor, the just cast choice was very good.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot to enjoy about it, but I don't feel like it was memorable enough. 2 of my sister's stepkids, they both kind of agreed with me, gave it like 6s and 7s. My nephew Cassius gave it a 9 out of 10. Brother's been obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's for as long as he's been alive.
It makes sense for his age group.
He gave it a 9 out of 10.
But me and Caleb are OG fans. We know about this.
We are OGs. But yeah, I was shocked because he said he's been kind of falling out of favor of Five Nights at Freddy's. So the fact that he gave it a 9 out of 10, I guess speaks volumes on the quality of the movie.
We'll get into that because I probably know why he did that. Because I'm not. If I was more of a hardcore, if this movie came out when I was in
middle school, if this was like middle school
or like early high school, I probably would have done the same.
And we can get into that idea too because there's a corresponding movie that I think we could talk about that I haven't seen, but I think still merits a topic. But on the last review of the children that I've watched it with, Colby's son, I think he gave it like a 7. I think he was about on the same boat, but I think he relatively enjoyed it a lot more than I did.
But it's just consistent with all with all you're saying is, and from what I've heard, that Rotten Tomato score of like 88 right now makes sense.
It's about right. Yeah. I like they say that the audience score and the critic score is very vastly.
I know different, why the critics don't,
but it's definitely somewhere in between those two. Yeah. Like I think it's a decent movie. I think they did a relatively good job.
It accomplished what the idea was. There was nothing like grand or bombastic about it. This isn't fucking Endgame here, ladies and gentlemen, or fucking Infinity War. If I were to give my take on it, I do think it's like a 7. Maybe if I'm feeling a bit generous, like maybe a 7.5. So I don't know, like where do you want me to go here? Because I need you to reel me in. What are you gonna ask?
I guess you can just bounce off of my opinions with this, because I think one really big critique I had with the movie
was it was confusing as fuck.
It wasn't that it was confusing. I did understand what was going on, but it was incredibly slow, and there was a lot of times watching it, even on the second watch, that I completely forgot that I was even watching a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Like it felt okay. There's times where it felt very bland in terms of what it was trying to provide the viewers.
So I got a lot of things to say about that because I know kind of the answers to it. To me, it didn't feel slow to me. I actually I thought the movie fucking went. I thought the second half of the movie's pacing was like that. I was like, the fuck?
I guess maybe slow is not the wrong word, but I think definitely bland might be the right word.
Yeah, it went fast as fuck. I was like, okay, they're gradually going in. Like we're at the third or second night. I kept that in track or whatever. I would have loved if there was a James Gunn-esque like night one.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know why they didn't do that.
That's a huge missed opportunity that they could have had to have like the night one, night two.
That would have been the first thing I put on the storyboard. If I was in that writing team, I'd be like, we got to get the whole night one. I don't know what the sound effect is. I don't know. Caleb put it up, and then like once it reaches like 6 o'clock, it makes the ting, and then we just move on to the next scene. That's what I would have done as a director or like one of the editors. I think another thing is, now this is coming from a guy who how do I explain this? I wasn't there at the start of FNAF. I wasn't at that like the initial like the game released. I'm there. I was probably maybe like after that MatPat video, the first game theory on it where he got it completely wrong. Yeah, that's where I came from, and ever since then I've known a lot about the lore and how this movie like sets itself up. You can tell they were probably in that writer's room with Scott because I think he's involved with this movie, but he wasn't involved like after some point with games. It just felt fucking weird. Yeah. I'm like, dude, because spoilers, motherfuckers. Yeah. This game is supposed to be, I don't know how much you know, is in FNAF 3. If you do all the secret bullshit that makes no sense to unlock, you get the mini games where you find out how William dies, purple guy. Yeah. This movie is basically that entire secret ending in full. Yeah. However, it adds a whole bunch of bullshit after 3 that just makes it like, all right, I don't know why Vanessa's here. This is confusing as fuck.
Also, they changed the family dynamics of the Afton family.
Of the Afton family, even Michael, because his dad, I think lore-wise, I might have to be corrected. Caleb and Post might have to correct me. Michael is the son of the guy who partnered with William.
Yeah, he's actually the son of Afton. He's Purple Guy's son.
Is he?
He's supposed to be Purple Guy's son.
See, there we go. That's the first few problems, because sometimes it's like all fucking like,
Because I think the reason why they changed that specifically for this movie is so, because what's supposed to happen to Afton's son is he gets scooped at some point.
Yeah, that we know.
And
I remember that.
Becomes another purple guy. So I don't think they wanted to have their main protagonist
be the son
of the murderer and then also die and become
so they just swapped him and Vanessa's roles then.
Kinda, yeah. I think that's a lot better, unless this, because Scott Cawthon actually did write the entire like story for this movie.
Did he actually?
So unless this is a way to say that the character you play as in the first Five Nights at Freddy's isn't actually the same Michael as Afton's son. I don't know. It could be just changing the lore.
Welcome to the 3 timelines. We have the movie, we have the books, where the books apparently have several different timelines in them, maybe depending on how you want to look at it. We have the main game, and then the VR games which aren't technically canon.
It's really weird and convoluted going to the games. So I'm just gonna focus on what the movie showed for now and how. But even then, I understand that.
My brother's a cinematography kind of guy. He was analyzing the fuck out of all of it, and I was giving out story cues. I'm like, that bitch. I didn't actually guess Vanessa was gonna be William's daughter. That was crazy. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's not how that's supposed to go.
That was a weird twist.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? And there was a lot of references. There was a reference to Five Nights at Freddy's 4 with the ant and how she got fucking killed. Because I forgot how it works in 4. Is it in 4? It should be in 4. 4 or 3. I can't.
4 is the one that it's the kid in the bedroom.
Yeah, there's a scene or whatever where you're with your butters or whatever.
Oh, that's
yeah. Is that 5?
That's sister location.
Yeah,
so that's
sister
5.
location. There was a reference to that with the ant just searching through the channel. I was like, oh, I understood that one.
I understood that reference.
And she got fucking murked by fucking Golden Freddy.
Which I I thought that was a little weird that Golden Freddy just appeared in their house, but I think that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
One thing that I think it's interesting, because if you look at the lore of the games, technically the secret stuff that happens in 3 is taking place in the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, because the phone guy dies. Was it the 4th or 5th night that he dies?
4th night. Because the 5th night you're by yourself.
Oh, the 5th night's when you get the call and it's just like... So yeah, that's when Afton dies. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't really like the execution they went with that entire...
God, I'm going to have to watch... I'm going to have to watch those fucking 4-hour-long explanation videos. Wendigo.
Matt Pat.
Wendigo or Matt Pat. Because I need it again, because I'm interested in the series again. I'm like, fuck. Because in real life, when you... It's crazy how fucking wild like the FNAF fucking mania was.
Oh yeah,
it was crazy.
Oh yeah, the insane like 360 it took from like
look at this indie horror game
from the time I think it was after 4 came out until I'd say maybe like 3 years ago. It was just like huge influx of like just seeing it everywhere all the time. I was like, this was just a game I watched Markiplier play. What's going on?
Fuck, this isn't some niche internet thing anymore.
And like I stopped keeping up on the theories for the longest time on game theory. I think that was also after 4.
I want you to know, watch that second video Patrick made, and then watch the most recent one, and it's just...
Dude, it's... Because I literally have not... It was Sister Location's game theory. That was the last thing I really even watched of Five Nights at Freddy's. Because I was like, man, this is getting convoluted and stupid, and I'm tired of seeing this game everywhere all the time. And then when the new game came out, the Security Breach, I watched Markiplier play it.
And it's confusing.
And then watched the theories, and I was like, what is going on?
No, I think to explain it, the Breach in VR...
Those take place like way in the future.
They do, but they're non-canon, or like, okay, how do I explain this?
So the way it is, from what I understand, is the first 3 games take place from like the 80s to
like
the 2000s.
Yeah, 2020.
And because I think it's the new games that are taking place in like 2020. Because what
was 3 then?
I think Security Breach takes place in 2025. I think 3 takes place in like 2005. It's like early 2000s.
Really? I thought it was way later.
Because it's supposed to be like... Because 2 is supposed to be the prequel to 1, right? So it's 2... which I don't really understand.
I know you... okay, so technically, this is how 1 through 4 work out.
Oh, God.
Half of 4...
4 is like the first one.
Technically. 4 is the first one, and some of the backstory behind it. During 4... 2 is taking place as well, sometime during it. Okay. Shit happens.
And then Sister Location's like in between that as well, right?
Parts of the lore of it are in between that. Then there's some shenanigans. I think some of the backstory in 3 is also there. That happens. 1 happens.
1
and then 3.
1 and the mini games from 3 happen.
Yeah.
And then it's like 10 or... Because 1 takes place, I think, in 93, if I remember right. Because then after 1, the place gets shut down for good, and then they turn into a fear attraction in the 2000s, which is when Springtrap gets loose. Purple guy in the yellow rabbit suit, for those of you who don't have any idea what we're talking about right now.
Also, just random critique, even my brother said it. His movie costume, William, looks fucking raw as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. And the fact that they gave him the classic eyes and none of the animatronics, it's beautiful.
Honestly,
beautiful.
That's one thing I'll definitely give the movie is the whole part with Springtrap.
Beautiful.
Very good. It was really weird though, not having Matthew Lillard at all in the movie up until that point. Yeah. I think that was kind of bad on their part.
Technically, if you know how the game works, if you know 4 and how he was able to see his house and all the amusement or all the whole fucking restaurant or whatever, technically he's in the movie, but he's not just seen.
Yeah,
if you're not a hardcore fan, that fucking goes over your head.
I think as somebody just
casually
as
watching
just a
it,
casual
it's bad.
viewer, they should have had him more in the movie because then when having a rewatch, he'd seem more like a looming threat in the background. But he just kind of seemed to be doing.
Hey, you want a job?
He gave him the job and then did nothing until the very end when he had to be the main villain, which I thought kind of lazy writing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It was a really good reveal, though. I'll give it that. If they had the build up where it's like he's there and he seems like he's an ally, because that's how it is in the game.
Yeah,
is he seems like he's an ally in the first game as the phone guy.
Is it confirmed that he is phone guy?
He's phone guy. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, because
100%.
100% because he carries a phone in the mini games, purple guy, and he dies in the first one, which is the way that Springtrap dies in the third one. So if you think about it, I don't know where I was going with that, but to be honest,
it's convoluted as fucking
super
makes no sense.
convoluted. It really does not make any sense. But yeah, I think I'm trying to gather my thoughts right now.
No, that's fine.
I did have a point that I was trying to make, but it's all scrambled now. Five Nights at Freddy's just scrambles my brain.
That's why it's probably got so popular.
I think
because
so.
Everybody be like, wait a minute. But what about this?
I think it was the idea that it was like confusing enough that you were interested, but I think it got too far into just creating new mysteries rather than like resolving mysteries that have been around for years. Because I don't think anybody has any clue when the bite of 87 even actually happened at this point.
And that's okay, so this is a speculation. Just for the movie, I'm just gonna separate. This is in the movie universe. The second this is gonna fucking get a second movie. There's no way there's not.
Oh, dude, this is gonna be a whole franchise. I already know.
It made like 3 times its like fucking budget or whatever.
It doesn't matter what reviews it gets. Yeah. It's the fact that people want to watch it. Yeah. Is the entire point of the movie.
So what's gonna get really confusing here, and it's what's probably gonna cause a lot, because I won't lie, fans are dumb and they start messing up shit when they don't understand it. Happens all the time. I'm not gonna get angry at people for it. But the next movie is going to have to delve into Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and 4, because those are interlinked. And since it's a movie, you can't do the whole thing with a video game where it's like, oh, it's not actually in the time you think it is, and there's stuff that's in the lore right now that I'm not going to explain for another 2 games. So it's going to be really confusing as fuck.
No, I disagree with that. I think they should go the exact route that Five Nights at Freddy's 2
did, and just make it
have it a full prequel, not even have like anybody say that it's a prequel, but it takes place in the 80s, and it's like all the toy suits and the decrepit suits, and just have that be the entire thing.
I hope it is.
It's the have it just be the full, like, the animatronics are out to get you on this one, because there's no resolution from the first one. They're just out to get you in this one, because I think that was a big thing that I had an issue with too, is by the third night, the animatronics were friendly. Yeah. Which is like, that's kind of weird.
I had this like, how do I say it? I had this Super Mario Brothers moment watching that scene. I'm like, this Foxy would have fucking killed me already. Yeah. What is happening?
Yeah, it was really, it kind of took you out of the experience, I'll say.
Yeah. That's my main problem.
A lot of people do argue that it's like, it's supposed to prove that the animatronics are kids, which is like, sure. But at the same time, I think the twist that the kids are in the suits should have been saved till like the very end of the movie when you learn that Afton killed the kids. Because I think that would make a better movie plot altogether. But yeah, for the second movie, just have it completely, the people in the past, they're in danger. Yeah. Have no idea what's going on. Because then you can get to the third movie where you can come back to our original characters and have the place reopen as a horror attraction where people start going missing, and then you can have Springtrap come back full-fledged.
Caleb is just giving you ideas right
I really I'm every time I speak, I'm just writing scripts for movies.
And then the fourth one, because okay, I'm gonna be honest, like low-key, out of the original 4, I won't count Sister Location. Sister Location is completely
that's when it kind of flopped to being really weird.
Yeah, I think with 4 Four, I think story wise and lore wise is the best.
Oh, it has the best scares too.
Oh yeah,
because it's like the comfort of your room's not safe, and it's the nightmares. Like that one just had
cooking.
so much with that.
Cooking.
He was really cooking. Has the best memes behind it.
Oh yeah,
was that the bite of 87? I love that so much.
Okay, here's the one thing: they're gonna make another movie, and this is what I told my brother. You could have. I want more Matt Pat cameos like Stan Lee.
Yes.
So I want Matt Pat to show up again. Game theory. But during the bite scene, if you want, if you want to have the bite scene take place in the second movie, in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 or whatever, literally, both prequel and the sequel to the movie, you can do the bite of 87. Lore wise, it makes sense. You can do it. Or can you not? I just had the fucking realization. Technically, that happens at a different location than Five Nights at Freddy's 2, right?
I think it does happen at 2 because it's supposed to be the toy Foxy that does the bite of 87, which would work for the second movie, but I think that's more of an off-camera thing that's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But here's my idea for the entire bite of 87 thing.
Because that's the how do I not to interrupt you, but how do I fucking word this correctly? That is the center point to everything. It's not William committing his first murders or the robots being made. It's the fucking bite of 87.
It's more the bite of 87 was the center point, like, before 3.
Yeah.
Like, what was the bite of 87 and what does that mean for the story? And that's probably the only plot point that has never been addressed is the bite of 87. And that's why in 4, when you see the kid get chomped, that's why the bite of 87? Because at that point, you've never heard of anything other than the bite of 87.
Having just this I'm finishing my point previously. The bite of 87 has to happen in this movie, the next one or whatever, and it has to just have Markiplier in the background, and it just does this. I don't know if Caleb wants to follow this. It says Mark in the background, and then it just does this. The camera just goes up. Oh my god, or something.
Oh my god. So here's my idea. Because in retrospect of Mark literally acting and directing his own movie,
you think he should direct the next movie?
I don't think he should. Well, maybe, I don't know. But here's my idea: Mark should actually be a main character in these movies now because he's proven he's a good actor.
Yeah,
and he's capable of a lot of things. So him actually acting as a full-fledged character, maybe as a joke, have him like be somebody who's like obsessed with the bite of 87 or something.
See, that would work in the third movie.
Yeah.
But I think what you could do, if depending on how because you have to. Everybody wants Mark in the fucking movie.
Oh yeah.
It's expected.
Did you hear how he's supposed to be in the
I actually didn't. Tell me.
So he was originally supposed to be the security guy that died at the beginning. Yep.
Oh, really?
Which I'm kind of glad now that he wasn't, because that would have just taken out of any original or any future roles that he could have done.
Or he could have just done like a really funny thing where he just keeps on appearing, and it's like, oh, this is an inside joke.
He's the Stan Lee then at that point.
Yeah. Either Mark or either Matt Pat or Mark just have to make recurring cameos in the franchise.
I think Matt Pat has to be the Stan Lee of the franchise. Where I'm sticking by this. Mark should be an actual character within these movies.
I think with that being the case, we're just throwing ideas out there.
We really are.
I like we're supposed to be reviewing the movie. Now we're just fucking.
I know we can get back to reviewing.
Yeah, we'll get back to viewing later. But like, I think Mark should play that security actor. Because if I remember my lore correctly, the night guard security dies, so you can just kill off Mark or whatever if you want to in that second movie, because it'd be like he does the whole like 1 through 5 nights or whatever, and well, actually no, you can do nights 1 through 7 to get the secret ending.
It's true.
So you can have Mark do something. Either he can be the day guard that dips, so eventually you get to fill in that spot or whatever. So you can just have him make a cameo, or you can make him the character that eventually switches to the day, and then he gets off screen killed, unless you want to show it.
I really do think though. I really think he needs to be a mainstay of the series because I think that'd both be hilarious and really good like PR because it's like you have one of the main YouTubers who started the franchise now being a main character because he knows how to act, knows how the movies work. So it's not out of the realm of possibility to just have him a mainstay.
I do have one critique of the movie I completely forgot about. There was no hello.
Yes,
and it pissed me off.
That's what I was gonna say. The movie did not feel gimmicky enough.
It did not.
That's one thing that they should have shot for. They should have made it more gimmicky. Had him doing more in-game stuff like checking the cameras, making sure the doors are closed so he doesn't get attacked. And then just the phone guy calls every night. That should have happened every night. That should have been when Matthew Lillard's character was present. Is every night he should have been calling him, checking in on him.
Yeah, he should have. I think a part of the problem with the movie is I understand kids are part of the plot, the fucking lore. However, I don't think you literally need them in the movie.
Yeah, I think
my brother was right. The sister plot line, now thinking about it after a few hours of when I originally saw it, I think my brother is right. We didn't need the sister subplot.
Not really.
Plot. He could have just been him.
I think that could have been, even if to have that as the main point of him even working there, that should have been something that I think was not focused on as much, especially not with that being tied to the ghost kids as much as it was. Because that's honestly the thing is the ghost kids should not have been present until the very end of the movie when you realize that who the villain is.
Yeah. And another thing is too, this is also another problem I had with it, the kids wanting to make more of them. I thought that was dumb as fuck.
That was,
I think the original game thing with them just wanting to kill the security guard because they look like William, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Because his son looked like him. I think that should have still been that original plot point should have translated over into the movie because
or even
it would have made it better with the whole reveal at the end. It would have been like, holy fuck.
Or even the idea that like
you'd have to change some things, but it worked.
The animatronics see people as endoskeletons and need to stuff them in suits. I think that
which is totally made up in the lore, by the way.
Yeah.
Which still would have been cool as like a diversion. It'd be like, oh, they just want to stuff him in a suit. No, they don't.
Like if that was their reason from the beginning of their understanding in the movie of why the people need to be wary of the animatronics, I think that would have made a much better like threat concept.
Yeah.
Especially like so he feels that his sister's threatened by these things. Because in all honesty, it makes no sense why anyone would even like if people knew that these suits had bodies inside them. I don't think they would have kept the bodies inside the suits for that long.
Yeah.
Like that's just like a rumor that's supposed to be around, not like the reason why it shut down.
There's a lot of like there's oddities like in a vacuum by itself, the movie works. It flows correctly. It's decent enough. But there's things from the game you could have put in still, and it would have probably led to a better product.
See, that's the thing. It works in a vacuum, but it's not like great what it could have been. Because if you like just spent the time to be like making it a mystery of what's going on, like how the first game was, nobody really knew what was going on until 3 games later that you kind of had an idea.
Which is so fucking... That's crazy on Scott's part. It took... It didn't actually even take 3 games. It took till Sister Location to actually go like, oh, so this is the actual story here.
Yeah. Because like the first game, you just understood...
Literally knew nothing.
Animatronics are trying to kill you. They may be possessed by the ghosts of children.
And there might be a murderer.
I'm curious though how they're going to implement the puppet into this.
Okay, I don't know if this is true. I saw it on Instagram Reels, but since I know the internet and the Five Nights at Freddy, FNAF community is really good at this. The puppet is in the movie somewhere.
I did see that.
I don't know if it's one of those things where you have to crank up the fucking brightness because that's a thing that happens. That might be at the end of the movie. But the puppet is there, but I don't know where.
I think I remember seeing it. It's like one of the scenes where they're looking at the animatronics on the stage. That if you look in the background, you can see the puppet's face. Which I'm wondering, this is my theory, if they're going to have the guy's little brother be the puppet.
It probably is. It's the easiest explanation.
It would make sense that the puppet wouldn't be doing anything in this movie because the puppet's supposed to be the one that's the only one that's not controlled by Afton. Like, he's the one trying to save the kids.
Yeah, he's the hero.
He's the hero. He's the hero of the animatronic story.
And it's crazy how that was not explored heavily after that, once that got revealed.
It's only in 3, really. Yeah. Only in 3 does the puppet really have a role. And after that, nothing.
It's always like, oh, the puppet was trying to be the good guy the entire time. Anyway, back to the child killing.
I guess here's the other thing, because after Sister Location, which is supposed to take place before 3 and 1, is all those animatronics are supposed to be burned. So I guess that makes sense why the puppet plays no prominence after that. Now I'm just critiquing the games because it's just convoluted. Oh, no. I think I'm really hoping the movies just clean it up a lot. I think the first movie has done a lot of that.
Thanks to the movie having to be a movie and having to like be, how do I say this? Not confusing as fuck. All the crazy like lore, not understanding things about the thing, like have to be left to the games. So now you have to have like a somewhat coherent plot. So like that's the way I would answer that question. I kind of lost my train of thought because I'm like, FNAF lore.
There's so much lore. It's hard to talk about the movie without talking about the game's insane library of lore.
Oh, and the books. The reason why we haven't brought up the books even make this even more confusing.
I can't even begin to even think
because
about
in the books, it starts explaining why the kids get attached to the animatronics. Somehow, William,
they literally make up that jelly is holding the entirety of the franchise together,
or whatever.
Which it's so confusing.
Because technically, it's separate from the lore, but they're also still connected.
It's to the point where it's like the books are almost making the franchise worse by existing. Because it's like there's no reason for all of that extra stuff to be happening.
Oh yeah, it makes no sense.
No sense whatsoever.
But I think the movie's headed in the right direction. It's good. It's just like a 7 out of 10. However, if the next movie has to personally be in a realm in between what this first movie did and what the games did, and I think it could turn out to be like a banger.
I think
a hardcore banger.
I think overall Markiplier. I think overall my greatest critique of the movie and what I hope they'd bring into a sequel is what we talked about on our horror movies critique 2 episodes ago. Is that they need to have more nuance, but they need to have suspense. There was it didn't feel suspenseful, they really needed to make it feel more scary because it really didn't feel like a scary movie. It just kind of felt like a movie. It didn't feel like a horror movie.
Yeah, and I know people out there are probably gonna say, but it's just supposed to be a horror movie, man. Dude, if Doctor Strange can halfies count as a horror movie for half the shit that happened in it, FNAF can do it too.
If Multiverse of Madness had more horror in it than a Five Nights at Freddy's movie,
we have a problem.
Then there's a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah.
Should what's his face, who directed Multiverse of Madness, direct the next Five Nights at Freddy's?
You know what? You're asking me that And I know it's not going to happen, but I'd like to. I'd like Sam Raimi to do it.
I think Sam Raimi's campiness that he brings to the movies would actually fit Five Nights at Freddy's a lot more.
Oh, no, it definitely would. Hard agree.
Having campy horror with a franchise that in itself
is campy
horror is perfect.
Made a whole genre of campy horror, let's be honest.
Because if you think about it, anything from Evil Dead would work. Like, everything you see in even Evil Dead would work in a Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Real.
Having Ash with his chainsaw hand come out fighting animatronics makes sense.
It does.
That would make sense on screen.
Like, I'm just thinking about it now that a Sam Raimi directed Five Nights at Freddy's movie would go crazy. Because, like, don't get me wrong, just paralleling the games and the movie, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 was not wild.
No.
It was not. And this movie kind of matches that energy. If they were to do 2 and beyond with like a director who wants a more horror-based PG-13 movie, which is possible. You just can't show blood. You could show somebody fucking being soldered in half, which was wild seeing.
Was that the Bite of 2000?
Was that the Bite of 87? You can do it. I think if you get a co-director or somebody with a more like campy vision, and all the next movies will be bangers.
Oh yeah,
they will be.
I think that's just my overall critique of movies in general recently. Is a lot of them don't go for campiness or just take risks.
They don't have the fan love.
Because it's like when you make a movie, you want to make something unique. And a lot of movies aren't taking like creative risks. It's just playing everything safe.
Yeah.
Lately.
Very Marvel-esque.
Very Marvel in specific has been playing things way too safe with their movies. I think like Multiverse of Madness, I think that did good because it took risks. I think the ones I enjoyed are the ones that took risks.
Okay.
Like since Endgame, I'd say probably Spider-Man No Way Home. Well, 2 Spider-Man movies that came out. And Multiverse of Madness and probably Guardians 3 are the only ones I'd say were good. And they all didn't seem to like feel like they followed the same generic formula movies have been following.
Yeah. It's crazy how you get 2 really good fucking directors who have a much more creative vision. Also, this is a total tangent. Anybody who says Multiverse of Madness was bad,
they're wrong.
I look at you and go, did we watch the same movie? Because clearly
that was not a bad movie.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Like
I've had a couple of my YouTuber friends go, that was a bad movie, and I go, what was bad about it?
Like you can argue the VFX didn't look at their best,
which
they didn't. That's reasonable. But it's like
the cinematography, the acting was good.
The fact that movie was basically made a year before it came out, because like it was completely scrapped until Sam Raimi came on and had to change the entire movie. The fact that they did that and came out with what they did, amazing.
Yeah.
And to say that's a bad movie, I don't know what they're doing.
I don't trust people with like extremely like crazy Marvel opinions.
Like I
just don't.
If you're putting Multiverse of Madness in the same tier as the Eternals and Thor: Love and Thunder,
you're wrong.
You clearly have a very strange opinion on movies.
Yeah.
Because I don't see how all those movies are the same.
Yeah, no.
Because Eternals, boring movie. The most boring movie I've seen in a long time.
Would I say it's the worst Marvel movie? I don't know.
Probably.
It'd be down there, but I don't know.
It'd be very low down there. Thor: Love and Thunder, it's not boring, but it's just like too goofy for the story it's trying to tell.
When I tell you, as a man who grew up during the Gore Butcher era in Marvel Comics, as probably one of the best Thor storylines ever, and seeing Love and Thunder, I want to kill myself.
They
ruined Gore.
As
bro.
Somebody who's not even, I wouldn't say they ruined Gore, but they didn't give him justice.
No, they ruined him. It's not even close to what he was in the comics, bro. I'm not joking. Thor in the comics, as much as a jobber as he is,
I'm muting you. Gore in that movie specifically could have been good, but he was not on screen enough to even be considered the threat that he should be. Like, he was not given the respect he deserved. And I think entirely the problem with that is they went for a comedy movie where that movie should not have been anywhere close to a comedy movie. Because Gore should be nowhere near comedy, where Thor was at this point in his life in the movies should not be anywhere near comedy. Like, insane. All right, Alex, go ahead.
Back to what I was saying. Caleb is technically right with everything he said, but in the comics, it's so much more worse. How do I explain this? Thor, throughout most of his life, has kicked ass. Mm-hmm. Even when he fights the Hulk. He's never had a down day. He kind of just vibes. When Gore shows up, Thor pisses his pants. I know other characters beat the shit out of him, but that's just how Thor works. He gets beat the shit out of, but it's like, he was just holding back. But no, when he fights Gore, Gore kicks his ass. Gore makes him realize, am I a bad guy? Am I like a terrible person? Mm-hmm. And like Gore's out here killing millions of people willy-nilly. And he's like morally complex and has all these things and wants to kill literally everything. And there's the whole thing involving like, the all black sword, which is technically Spider-Man related now. Strange. And or Venom related. And that whole plot line. Like Gore in it of itself is a character who is a Thanos. He's Thanos level.
Oh yeah,
or like a Loki. He could have been another Loki, but someone fucked that up.
That was not articulated at all. In this movie.
I think I go back to my original opinion with that. He was done horrendously bad. Not even even if you would have added more to him and made like a Marvel version of him, I would have still said he was bad because in the comics, different character entirely. Like if he were to show up to Earth, like the comics version of him to like this MCU, everybody would have been like, I should kill myself now. This is useless, bro. I think I'm terrible.
In the entirety, though, of that movie, it's just all bad. Yeah. Just every decision they made with that movie was such a disappointment, considering the Thor movie that came right before it. Like, it's bad when your movie's so bad, it's making one of the best Marvel movies look bad by proxy.
Yeah, it's just... I think directing choice is very crucial. I don't know. Ever since
I think it has a lot to do with the time crunches Disney's been doing.
That too.
Because I don't think these movies are getting the time in the oven they need.
Yeah, because
specifically Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, that one was undercooked coming out. That was not a finished movie.
It was so bad they want rumor right now. It was so bad they want to replace Kang with Doom now. On top of the fact with Kang's actor, I forgot what's his name?
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors got arrested. Now they're like, Doom,
Dr. Doom.
We don't like Fantastic Four, but now we need it.
I think that was their plan from the beginning, though. I think immediately after Kang was supposed to be Dr. Doom.
Yeah,
but aside from that. Yeah, that movie, like, it was, I don't want to say it was bad, because I did kind of enjoy watching it, but I was just disappointed because of the Ant-Man movies that came before it. They felt so unique, and they felt like Ant-Man. To have this one just be, like, just weird and have nothing to do with the previous Ant-Man movies.
Yeah.
It just felt wrong.
In all honesty.
And I'm so glad they didn't go with the plot point that Ant-Man dies in this movie. Because if he died in that movie, that would be the biggest waste of probably one of the most heartfelt deaths since Iron Man.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't say like Tony, but it would have hurt. I was like, damn,
that would have been a hurt. That would have been a hurt.
I would have cried like I did with Tony, but I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, why? Actually... You're.
I
can't say that. I can't say that because Aunt May dying was pretty rough.
That was also stupid.
That was rough.
Yeah, I think it's just like I'm realizing a lot about Marvel is that, and as a YouTuber who now worries a lot about like the score, the music of a video, the pacing of stuff, and trying to understand how long that takes to me. I've come to the realization that, like, I've been saying that a lot lately. Realization is that to make a good product, it takes a while. A good video of what you can muster, I think at bare minimum, universally takes 2 weeks. At bare. So when you look at a major movie like that, I don't want to fucking hear we're gonna have a movie every month. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
No, I want one Marvel movie a year.
Well, even then they're having the 3 a year before Endgame. That worked perfectly. One in the spring, summer movie in July, and then one in November. That worked perfectly. Yeah. Everything was evenly paced. But when they had the Disney Plus movies coming out every month, and having the movies, the shows, all that happening every single month, everything got stretched so thin. Yeah. The writers got stretched thin. The actors got stretched thin. VFX got stretched thin. Nothing feels like everything's coming out undercooked for Marvel. Which brings me actually, since I'm on the topic of being angry at Disney, I saw this video that I want to share with you because I'm so frustrated. I want to see if you...
Five Nights at Freddy's was a good movie. We liked it both.
Yes. Overall, Five Nights at Freddy's.
I wanted to clarify that. We're going on a totally oblivious rant.
But I need you to watch this video and tell me what you think.
Okay, pass it over.
I gotta find it. How many TikToks have I sent Colby? Maybe I just liked it. Because this actually made me furious. Okay, here we go.
Disney still makes 2D anime.
Shut up. Okay. Just watch it from the beginning.
Disney still makes 2D animation. They just don't want you to see it. It's been a long time since Disney released a movie made in the traditional hand-drawn style. Even though they make everything in CGI, they still make 2D animation. They did it for Encanto, Frozen, Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph, and Moana. Look at how amazing this stuff is. Why don't they make full movies like this? It's because the animation is JSUT used to help the CGI animators understand the characters before they start working on it. Disney legend Randy Haycock explains how it goes down.
They asked if I would do some animation tests on Frozen, because they had cast a voice for Anna and they wanted to do a test.
God, that actually looks really good if that's actually real.
Yeah, no kidding.
When I did that first test, I started getting emails from the CG animators about how much they were inspired by that piece of animation. Now they were excited to work on the movie. And that made me feel really good. For me, that was kind of the big reward.
Wow, Ralph looks really good. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Having 2D animators work on behind the scenes on these CG films.
Disney still makes 2D animation.
Tell me how much better those little 2D sketches look than the final products we've been getting.
Okay. I do like 3D. I think it works some of the time depending on... I saw like a really good... Back to my Halo tangent. Mm-hmm. I saw like a really good 3D animated Halo fan film.
Oh yeah.
It was made in I think it was Source Filmmaker. I'm like, this is good. This works for Halo. I think some of the Disney movies that Disney has been making look good like that. But some of the time, if it looks better in 2D, just go with the 2D. I know it might take a little bit longer and there might be a little bit of frustration, but it is so weird. The moment they went, damn, Prince and the Frog took too fucking long. Fuck this. And just threw the whole bitch out. I'm like, what? Huh?
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, seeing how these characters move in relation to what we see in the movies, they look so much more expressive. Yeah. Like, especially this clip that they show from Encanto. Like, gosh, she just looks so much more like she's actually happy.
Yes.
Like, it's crazy. The switch that it has. that it's like,
Oh, this is better.
man, this looks like something that has magic behind it.
Yeah. So, like, how would I say this? The 3D movies are okay. They're fine. They look good. However, there's clearly a better medium here. I would always say 2D is always better, just because of what the fuck you can do with it. But 3D does have its uses too, depending on what you want to do.
I think studios that have been doing 3D for the longest time, like Pixar and DreamWorks, those guys have it down. Their
Keep
3D
doing it.
movies, they look good. Plus, with DreamWorks in specific, they've been stylizing their movies a little bit. Yeah. Same with Sony. Their 3D movies, they're stylizing it, so it actually looks like it pops. Disney's not doing anything with their 3D
They're
movies.
soulless and evil.
Their 2D animations look so much better, to the point where it's like having them make 3D movies is just like obsolete, other than for them just to make money.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge difference when I see Anna from Frozen here and then what the 2D sketch animation is. Like, she looks so much better. Like, it's not even funny how much better she looks in this clip that we have.
Yeah. I just frankly, I don't like corporations. I'm with Johnny Silverhand. I'd detonate a small nuke in a tower.
Yeah. I honestly, every passing day, I'm more and more considering starting a real life Sinister Six.
I'm down. As long as you got the Venom symbiote, just give me that shit. I'm down.
Man,
Who would you be out of the Sinister Six?
Dude, I actually wanted to talk about that too. We need to make I think we can make our own Sinister Six of homies. But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna exclude Symbiote. Venom is excluded from this conversation.
He appears in it sometimes, but it's
I think
not
we'd
really.
all want to be Venomed. Let's be real. Venom's our favorite one.
Yeah.
So out of the Sinister Six, I think I'd either be Mysterio or Doc Ock.
I think you'd work better as Mysterio.
I think so too.
I don't know. I don't think I'd be Rhino. That one doesn't make any sense to me.
I feel like Rhino could work, but I don't know. Maybe Shocker.
I'd say if I were to go with me, I know this might be crazy saying, but sometimes how I act in video games, I low-key think I could be Green Goblin or Electro.
Ooh, Electro would be good.
Yeah, I think those two work. Because sometimes Electro can just be he can be a dick.
He can be a menace.
He can be a menace depending on the variation of his power. So I think that.
You know what? So I'm Mysterio, you're Electro. Who's the other four? Who's our Doc Ock? There has to be a Doc Ock in the Sinister Six. Jarrett's Doc Ock.
Then Ben would be Green Goblin.
Should we have Green Goblin in the Sinister Six?
Is he actually in the original six or no?
No. So the original six is Mysterio, Doc Ock, Electro,
That's right,
Vulture. Craven.
It's Craven? Craven's not in. Is he in this?
He's in the original Sinister Six.
Hold on. Really? I'm fucking having like a whole.
There's a bunch of different variations. I tend to like the one from the 90s series.
Oh yeah, that one goes hard.
Yeah. We're both looking at.
I know. I want to know.
I just love the Sinister Six as a concept. They're just it's so great.
Wow, no, Craven is in it. Yeah. Oh my god.
So it's Sandman, Craven, Vulture, Doc Ock, Mysterio, and Electro. So we got Mysterio, Electro, Jarrett's Doc Ock. I feel like Ben might be a Vulture.
Ben's either Vulture or Sandman. I think I'm going to go with Vulture because it's funnier.
Ben as Vulture, I think, because Ben's the only one who'd shave his head bald for the role. So we got Ben's Vulture.
I think, who would be Craven?
Well, should we go with this specific one? Because I feel like we could also go with Scorpion.
I've never liked Scorpion.
Really?
Never liked him. Not even when he was Venom, when they tried that whole thing.
I don't really like that concept, but I do kind of like Scorpion as a character.
He's weird.
I like him. I think he's a good counter to Spider-Man, because a spider and a scorpion are like natural rivals in the world of who's the better arachnid.
There's also a beetle in there.
And the beetle, but
Yeah,
we don't see him too much.
We don't.
Let's see. So this is what's hard because we have to think about the members of the Sinister Six, and then we have to also think about who in our friend group would join our Sinister Six.
I think Dylan would be probably Craven.
Ooh, Dylan as Craven. I could see
Dylan
that.
would be Craven. And then Ethan as Sandman. There we go.
Ethan Sandman. There we go. There's our Sinister Six right there. The OG Sinister Six too.
But if I had to be any Spider-Man villain, I'd probably end up being fucking Eddie or something in specific. I think you'd be Cletus.
I don't think I'd be Cletus.
I think if any variation of
you want to take a quiz? You want to take a quiz and see what
with symbiote you would? I think with you, I think you'd either get Toxin or Carnage, or the anti-venom one. I think you fit in those categories way better.
No, I think out of all the symbiotes, I think I might be Peter Parker with the symbiote suit. Just an absolute menace. Who knows?
Well, you got the Mysterio thing.
Mysterio.
That still makes sense with him. You know what's crazy?
I really like Mysterio as a villain.
Oh no, you probably should in the.
Are you talking about when he killed all the X-Men?
That shit was wild, and I immediately went. Mysterio's kind of goated with the sauce.
He kind of is. After watching Far From Home and hearing that, I think he's right below Venom as my favorite Spider-Man villain.
Definitely, he's one of the cooler ones.
Like very close to being my favorite, but Venom's just.
And then he was a Shattered Dimensions villain. I forgot which
was
one.
he?
He was one of them.
I didn't play that one, but I do see a lot of clips online of it.
That one's getting really popular again because of Miguel. Because my honest critique of Into the Spider-Verse, Miguel's character is just being rehashed again from that video game. Because
it really is, yeah.
Because it's just like, I'm not Spider-Man. I'm not gonna follow the rules. Like you can't serve the alternate timelines. Really, Miguel? Again,
you're doing
like
this again.
The end of that game's Miguel will look at Into the Spider-Verse Miguel and be like, "You dumb motherfucker." Does this happen all the time? Just goes to show you that Peter Parker is pretty crucial into being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, you just end up fucking being weird.
You become just something completely different.
Like Spider-Gwen's different from Peter. Miles is dramatically different from Peter in multiple ways. But like Miguel himself is completely like, I wouldn't want him to be Spider-Man. If there was a list of people, he'd be in the last.
You could choose to be Spider-Man. No, he's kind of a terrible guy.
No.
Yeah, he says, with great power comes great responsibility. No.
Fuck that shit.
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not even Spider-Man because I have to drug myself.
I like drugs.
It's just a giant PA for not doing it.
It's true.
Anyway, we've been on a tangent for a while.
Yeah, I guess we can start winding down here.
Yeah.
But you know what? Now we have an idea for our Halloween costumes next year. Let's all be the Sinister Six. And then we can.
What version of Electro would I dress
And then we can take a picture of us together and be like, me and the boys.
Me and the boys. That would be a good one.
That would be really good. We'd have to switch up the Sinister Six a little bit, but we could recreate it with everybody.
Me and the boys before COVID. Me and the boys after COVID.
I would love to be Mysterio next year for Halloween.
I think we should do that. Let's not. I'm not going to follow Nat's advice and choose to be a wizard. Actually, that was my take.
It was your idea.
I didn't think about it for long enough, but I love to dress up as Electro. I dress up. I don't think I'd go with a classic suit. I dress up as the Jamie Foxx version from No Way Home.
Oh yeah, that's a really good costume.
I think either him being literal electricity itself, and or just kind of having like a tactical fit is the best.
Mm. I think Mysterio is very easy for me because he has one consistent costume throughout every iteration.
Bulb.
The bulb head. The green costume.
Oh, wait, okay, but the real question is, what ethnicity is Mysterio? Is he white, Italian, Mexican, or something else?
I don't know. Has that ever been established?
He has a different couple variations.
With a name like Quentin Beck, I'd have to say he's white.
But hold on, let me actually Google this, because there's different versions of Mysterio, and sometimes they give him a little bit of a Spanish flair, and it's like, what?
That could work.
Oh, there's other characters.
Crazy to see that Bruce Campbell was supposed to be Mysterio in Spider-Man 4.
I wanted that movie to be a thing, honestly.
Yeah, it's too bad Spider-Man 3 was so garbage that they just gave up.
But it wasn't, man.
It was garbage.
No,
that movie's garbage.
I like it.
It's garbage.
It's a guilty pleasure.
It's garbage.
I love Spider-Man.
It's guilty because it's trash.
It's guilty because
if they just stuck with the Sandman plot line, I would argue against that.
I actually probably I won't lie. I have to go a little bit of a cheeky take here. I don't think if it was strictly just a Sandman movie by himself and what was already shown in Spider-Man 3, I don't think I would have liked it as much.
Venom sucked in that movie, though.
But even then, because
everything involving the symbiote sucked, which is weird because that's supposed to be the best part of the movie. Bully Maguire is only good because it's bad. That's like saying The Room is an enjoyable movie.
But it is. Don't leave me. I forgot what he fucking says.
That's the Marvel equivalent of The Room.
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 is the Marvel equivalent of The Room.
But The Room is...
It's not good. That's not a good movie.
I have to rewatch The Room.
By all accounts, Spider-Man 3 is not a good movie.
To be honest, I think, almost in a weird way, I think that might be the first case of a studio like undercooking a movie.
I wouldn't say undercooking. I'd say they messed with the recipe.
I don't think he was messing with the recipe. I think he honestly could have done two movies.
They messed with the recipe because that movie was not supposed to have Venom in it at all.
I think you still
because
could have
Sam Raimi did not understand the character of Venom, and they said, "Nope, Venom's in it." So if Sam Raimi stuck with the characters he knew, eventually we probably would have got...
Hold on, I just had this fucking epiphany. How the fuck do you know Sandman better than Venom? Don't get me wrong.
Because Sandman's came way before Venom.
Yeah, I know that, but like when you look at the Rogues Gallery and what was popular at the time, how the fuck was that on the list?
Yeah, Sam Raimi grew up reading the comics before Venom was even a thing.
That's fucking crazy.
Because he didn't know anything past, like, when Venom became a character or the symbiote suit, Raimi had no idea what that even was because he only knew the original stuff that was going on. So that's why the villains were planned to be Sandman, Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Vulture, and Mysterio, because those are original Spider-Man villains. Venom only became huge in the 90s, and his entire understanding of Venom, I think, came from he binge watched the 90s cartoon and said, "All right, time to take my own spin on this." And it became
Did he only
awful.
binge the cartoon?
Yes, he watched the cartoon.
That's it?
That's the lore. Is he watched the cartoon?
Okay, I think that's a failure on his part. That saga is not that long.
He doesn't like Venom though.
That's just crazy.
He didn't like Venom as a character.
And that's why I think, I'm going to be honest, next to Green Goblin, I think Venom is like one of his, I guess, former villains now.
So I'm saying that too. Yeah, Venom's Spider-Man's best villain.
Sam Raimi has a bad take.
Yeah, that's really the reason why that movie was bad. He didn't understand Venom as a character, and Sony pushed that character onto him. So he was just, his hand was forced to make a movie about a character that not only he didn't really care for, but he didn't understand.
I just realizing more and more, I just hate studios.
Yeah, it was really stupid. And that's why Spider-Man 3 is a terrible movie.
It's still okay. I still like it. But it's like, that's crazy. You only, like, it's like, now that you said that, I have this like weird part of me that goes equal fault to Raimi. It's like,
oh yeah. Like,
why? Just read the comics. It's not that. Who could have honestly finished that whole story arc in like a week?
I think I have high hopes for Tom Holland's Venom arc.
If it even happens.
It'll happen.
I hope it does.
I mean, unless the Disney dies, which I don't think that's going to happen.
Venom 3 is apparently supposed to go crazy.
I've heard things about that too.
Yeah. They might be doing the whole Null fucking arc in the next movie, which, damn, I wish that would have been more
Supposed
of a
to have Andrew Garfield in it too.
Really? Is it supposed to?
That I'm hearing little tidbits of rumors around the internet, which normally I wouldn't have listened to before, but they said that all 3 Spider-Men were going to be in No Way Home, and I didn't believe that either.
And it was crazy. All the leaks were true.
They were all true?
No. The thing is, like, there was SFX shots that were leaked, and everyone's like, "No, it's dumb." And then somebody like made how like you can make it up in like a blender or whatever, and it was like, "Oh, nope, you were just fucking wrong."
No, you made it in Blender, but they made it in Hollywood.
And it's just like, I remember when that fucking shot showed up, and who was I next? You were next to me. I think I did this.
Oh.
Holy shit.
They did it.
That's the shot.
Yeah.
It was crazy. My next biggest pet peeve is if the suit doesn't look raw as fucking Tom Holland, I'm going to have a problem here.
There's no way it doesn't. If they understood how to make the suit look good in Spider-Man 2 for the game, I think they understand how the suit should look now.
If it's literally not the Raimi version of it, and or the cartoon or the original comic version of it, it's wrong. Just wrong.
Did you say you want it to look like the Raimi version?
I won't lie. The Raimi version of the symbiote suit looks good.
Terrible opinion. Terrible opinion. That suit's garbage.
How is it garbage? It's literally just a black version of the original.
It's supposed to have the white logo and be sleek because it's a sleek alien suit. That's the entire point. It's supposed to look nice and sleek.
Nah. I'm okay with I'm okay with Insomniac's version being all tentacly.
Oh yeah, but that's the entire point. It's still sleek.
Sleek is like almost rubber to me. That's like
yeah, it still looks like rubber.
And it doesn't look. It looks like rubber with like a lot of texture with it. Like rubber to me is just a solid, just like this. Just you can go over your arm and it's just like that. Not like
Alex with the wrong opinions today.
Hey, don't get me wrong on that. There's so many opinions on the fucking symbiote and how it's supposed to look. Like you would hate everybody else's. People like want it with like look bulky. Like Spider-Man has to look more bulky instead of looking like he's in fucking spandex. There's people that think like the symbiote itself should be all wild and stupid. There's other people that think the little strings should be off of it to make it look more alien. Don't even get them started on the fucking eyes. People will get a bitch fit on that because some people think it should be like just the suit's eyes, like a 1-for-1. Other people should think it like curves up, looks more like Venom and stuff. It gets crazy. The symbiote, me saying the Raimi suit looks okay, is not a wild take. It is not.
It's a wild take. I agree with all those other takes that you said.
Jesus.
If it just looks like the original Secret Wars suit or the 90s animated series suit, fine. Or even the video game suit.
The video game, I think after a very long time, I can arguably say something finally rivals the OG one, and that is Insomniac's.
Or I will even say if they made it look like how Venom looks in these recent movies, I'd be okay with that too.
Ultimate Spider-Man's okay. I would have to agree. But I have a problem with the Ultimate version. The symbol has to be there. I don't give a fuck with the whole like Peter needs to have put the fucking symbol on it, guys. Use some like brain magic. Like Peter's just like, it has to have an emblem on it and it shows up. It just has to. And with Venom now, just fucking put it on him. Who gives a fuck?
That's the entire point of him having the suit. Yeah. It is supposed to like, it makes him want to have the suit. Like the suit wants to be him. Yeah. So it's like, I'm Spider-Man. Has the emblem. Yeah. It has to have it. Even with Venom. Like that's my one critique with the Venom movies. Venom movies, he needs the symbol. Have something, and even then, canonically now, it can just look like a dragon, because that's what it is. It's supposed to look like a dragon, not a spider, which is probably some of the greatest symbiote lore ever. It's just like, neat. But yeah, that's what I hope for. I like Spider-Man. Yeah. Now, if it's just a black and white version of whatever Tom Holland suit is, I'll be like, meh, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with the symbiote suit. You don't have to over-design it. Is it symbiote or symbiote? We get this. I say symbiote because that's what it was in the cartoons.
Was it? I have to read. I always heard symbiote. But that might just be the internet talking with me.
I think it. I don't know. Because
Is it Rayquaza or Rayquaza?
I would say Rayquaza.
I would say Rayquaza too.
I also say apricot.
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 Apricot. Apricot. Color. Color.
Aluminium.
Aluminum.
Stupid British people.
Messing up my words.
They're just adding extra letters. They just want to look fancy.
Are we the dumb ones then? Because we took away letters.
It's still the same word, just have to write less.
True. Never mind. They're stupid.
Work smarter, not harder.
Real.
So they're stupid.
All words should just be singular syllables. C, A, W.
just singular syllables.
We should just go full group.
Now we're just aliens.
Meat Smurf.
All right, we're starting to get stupid, which means it's time to end the episode.
Okay, one thing about, if we're keeping talking about the symbiote though, I love, this is the one thing as a holy grail I'll always keep. We should never know the symbiote's name ever.
True.
Ever. No matter, under no circumstances should we know it. It should always just be symbiote or venom.
Yep. If it's on Spider-Man, that's just Black Suit Spider-Man.
Yeah.
If it's with Eddie Brock or anyone else who's going to be Venom in that universe,
it's Venom unless stated otherwise.
Unless stated otherwise. Which usually, if that specific suit or that specific symbiote,
it's just
that's
Venom.
usually just Venom.
Yeah, it's Venom abbreviated with somebody else's name.
True.
Venom Pool. Venom Captain America.
True.
Dr. Venom.
Because every other symbiote, they just make up their own name with whoever they fuse with.
Yeah. Or car. That's weird. Hold on. This is a fun fact. Since I don't know how symbiote birthing like makes sense, like identical wise, like when like immigrants when they come into a different world. Do you think the Carnage symbiote knows how to talk in its own like home language? Like, do you think if it ever were to go back to home, everybody would be like, "Man, you ain't from here"?
I'm sure I think it does, because don't the symbiotes share like kind of a hive mind?
Some of them do, some of them don't.
Because to my knowledge, Venom and Carnage can sense each other's presence.
They can sense each other's presence, but they can't read each other's minds.
So I feel as though Carnage, being basically the offspring of Venom, would carry some of that knowledge with it.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was just thinking about it. I was just be like, and me and Carnage the same? If I were to go back to my homeland, would everybody just make fun of me? Look at that red loser.
The red loser. I don't know if they could say that. He's a threat.
He is.
He's an absolute threat.
Don't put Joker and Carnage in the same room. You might get a fucking whole mess of problems. What would you call that? What would you call that name? Because he'd have to have a unique name.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Massacre?
That would honestly be probably the worst villain to ever be created, is if the Carnage symbiote got attached to Joker.
It'd be worse than
because Cletus is crazy.
Yeah.
But the Joker doesn't care. Yeah. Has no regard for any life other than Batman's.
I think Massacre is a great name for a symbiote.
Massacre.
That's true. Single words with emphasis just go crazy.
I love Spider-Man villains.
I do.
They're so good.
Well, I think that's about all we can say. This episode ran a little bit long.
Movies Act 3.
Movies Act 3, yes.
We love talking about movies. Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Got to talk about how much we hate Disney. And we got to talk about Spooderman.
I still need to play it. I've mostly stayed away from major story spoilers.
It's been so hard to dodge the spoilers. I'm trying to beat that game, but every time I play it, I'm like, side quests.
God, I think I'm probably gonna end up getting a PlayStation 5 with all the December YouTube money at the end of it all.
Insane.
And I'm just gonna literally just play for Spider-Man.
Insane buying yourself a whole new PlayStation 5 when your brother has a job and can get his own.
I could technically probably like get him an Xbox for significantly cheaper and just take the PlayStation 5.
That's true. You could.
But he has this addiction to FIFA right now that I'm still trying to fucking figure out. I don't get it.
I don't think I'll ever understand why Andrew does what he does.
I don't know either, bro. Man is a fucking enigma wrapped in a fucking burrito, wrapped in another enigma.
He really is.
Wrapped in a taco.
Wrapped in a taco.
And then another enigma.
Oh, man.
Labeled for $500.
What a strange lad.
Exactly.
Well, Alex, is that your final comment?
Why do you look like 50 Cent?
50 Cent?
He does. Look like in the. Well, he just needs the whole like.
Peachy, look at the camera.
Oh, here's 50 Cent on the side.
There we go. He's 50 Cent.
He's from G Unit.
Peachy's going through his 50 Cent arc.
He is, bro. More money, more problem. It's actually not, that's not even the actual. Now he's just from the Middle East.
That's true.
Him, Bobby. Hold on, I can actually like make him look. Okay, now he kind of looks raw as fuck, though.
Whoa!
Why does he look raw as fuck?
Is this post-apocalypse, Peachy?
This is raw as fuck.
Dang. Game Freak. Give us money for coming up with the post-apocalypse Pichu idea.
Yes, bitches.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else to say.
I'm getting hungry.
I am too.
Well,
so to be sure that we can get food from making this podcast, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the podcast. Be sure to comment your opinions if you saw the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Mm-hmm. What did you think of it? Give your rating and why you give that rating. What Spider-Man villain is your favorite? And also, why do you hate Disney and why should we bring back 2D animation? And if you disagree with us, don't comment.
Actually do. It actually brings more.
It brings discussion.
Yeah, and then it gets put in the algorithm more.
That's
argue.
True. That's actually true.
Argue. Go argue.
Actually, yeah, wait, hold on. That's true. I want to hear your opinions. If you like 3D animation, give your opinions on why and what Disney can do to make theirs better.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Anyway, see you next time. Peace out.
What's going on, Folios?